Hi, good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to this edition of our webinar. We are also progressing in this concept of webinar. It's no longer a webinar. Last time it was a, it was, what was that, Karan? It was
fireside chat.
Yeah. So we are shifting gears. We have covered a lot of basics in our earlier webinars, and we do get some repeat prospective learners. Some learners who remain prospective for a longer time. So that's why we don't want to cover some of the basic stuff today. We will dive deeper into other stuff. So just to kick off, as others are joining, and warm welcome to all who have joined on time, before time. Thank you. We are celebrating our 10 years of Regal Unlimited. So we want to play a short video as others are joining. Yeah. Again, once again, those who have joined after we started, a warm welcome to this edition of the fireside chat. So we are looking at some of the benefits for reasons why professionals are pivoting into professional coaching. So the topic is deliberately chosen as why some of the professionals are pivoting into professional coaching. Now, just to set the context, coaching, the way we speak about today, the full session is going to be on professional coaching. Professional coaching in a way that is the way we practice coaching. It is based on not purely on your past experience, your life experiences, or the wisdom that you have accumulated over the years, but this is something that you're aligned with the framework of global bodies like International Coaching Federation. We all are part of ICF community. So everything that we're going to discuss today is primarily based on the ICF or International Coaching Federation framework. We are not evangelizing ICF. ICF doesn't need that for sure. but we are speaking about from the experience that why ICF is the gold standard. And as perhaps every one of you here is aware that Regal Unlimited, the firm that I'm part of, is an ICF approved coaching entity. So we run programs which are ICF approved to become ICF professional coaches. So looking at the topic, the first point is that why professionals or successful professionals or successful corporate leaders, self-employed business owners, or other professions, like we have the current batch that we are running, we have people who are in the area of managing a brand, right? These are kind of professions who are getting. The latest ACC from our community is a doctor from Delhi, a professional practicing doctor. So different, and yesterday I spoke to a doctor from Karnataka who's an IM alum who's looking at professional coaching. So why are all these professionals? So when we say professionals, it also includes corporate leaders, self-employed, consultants, and everyone else, pretty much, including homemakers who are trying to come back into the corporate world. So why are successful professionals getting into professional coaching? Once again, what is professional coaching? The way I define, or we define at Regal, is a professional coach is someone who's trained within that ICF framework, who's certified. The certification is done by entities like Regal Unlimited. Is experienced. There's a lot of practice, a lot of rigor into the program training and certification program. So trained, certified, experienced, and credentialed by ICF, International Coaching Federation. And then they continue to practice, continue to get mentored, continue to get supervised. Over and above all this, you also continue to get the deeper awareness. You work on yourself, whether you call it self-awareness, deep work. Now, I use the expression deep work because coaching mastery is not about upskilling. Marcia Reynolds, one of the most popular coaches in our community globally, she says, mastery in coaching is not about upskilling. Paraphrasing her quote, of course. It's not upskilling. After a certain stage of coaching, you're already there as a professional coach. Then what is mastery? It's a lifelong effort to move towards mastery. You never gain mastery. Yeah. But at the same time, it's not a mirage. Mastery is there. And how do you get that mastery? It's all the deep work, self-work that we continue to do. That is a professional coach. Now, a lot of professionals from diverse background who are successful are moving into this. Yeah. A quick question. We have. We have a small slide deck. I'm using. Yeah. I'll run through a few slides. Just to set the context. Yeah. I hope you all can see the screen. Quick few. This is a deck that we pretty much run every time with some minor edits. So some of you are here is familiar with it. Just give me 5 minutes. Let me run through this. Now, what is coaching? I jump in straight into the concepts. Coaching is it's not mentoring, where a subject matter expert comes and gives you that expertise. It's like a parent to child in a transaction analysis methodology. It's not consulting, where these big four entities come and give you all the global benchmarking, global perspective to your local problem. It's not consulting. It's not training. Again, like mentoring, it's an expert coming and giving you that specific gyan, that expertise. Again, adult to child. It is not therapy. It's not counseling. It's not healing. And I am a certified healer, so I know what healing is. So it's not, it's not any of those therapeutic approaches that we broadly categorize as light workers. Then what is coaching? Yeah, coaching is about transformation. There is nothing like transactional coaching. Coaching is about transformational. The outcome, the path, the pace, everything is decided by the client, defined by the client in consultation with the coach. The coach and the client are equal partners. It's not an adult to child. nor it is child to adult. It's, from a transaction analysis point of view, they are two equal adults in a meaningful, deep conversation. It's more of a co-creating. It's a construct. It's not an instruct. Instruct is by, a consultant or a trainer or a mentor who is a subject matter expert. Here, even if a banker comes to me for a coaching conversation, with my 21 years of banking experience, I just keep aside whatever little knowledge and wisdom I have. I just stick to the coaching framework. Then what is coaching? The best definition is what ICF gives you. It's partnering. Here, the client means it could be an internal client, a colleague, employee, boss, peer, or an external client, a paid client, someone like me, who works externally as an entrepreneur. It's a process. Coaching is a rock solid process, but it is not a binary process which is a restrictive. It's a creative and a thought-provoking process. So there is an element of art built on the strong foundation of the science and the process. What does it result in? It results in awareness, and that results in action. And then what happens? It is all towards the maximizing potential, personal and professional. So every coaching intervention is transformational because even if the client comes with a very transactional goal, the outcome should be much bigger than that. And that is what pure coaching is. I would invite you to take a click of this particular slide, because this is at the core of this discussion today. What is ICF credential, or why? Why one should go for an ICF credential? It's the largest community of professional coaches, just crossed 50,000. Very high focus on ethics, well-researched framework. Coaching was always part of every culture, every great culture. It is still part of every great culture. But ICF has brought together diverse formats, templates. It borrows heavily from the management philosophy, spirituality to sports and consulting, even to a bit of psychotherapy. And they've brought this process, which is rock solid, and in a way that is different from all of them. Yeah, it is very well researched. ICF has a portal dedicated to research on their website. So please do check out. It is a global brand. It's a global benchmark. It's a global gold standard in coaching. So whether you're a ICF coach from US, South America, Europe, Asia, or Australia, you're just an ICF coach. Yeah. Why ICF coaching? This was an initiative that we undertook last year, and we kind of mapped the business opportunity of professional coaching in India. This is a study dedicated to India. We saw that an ICF coach got a higher remuneration for their work they do compared to others. Against 47, the ICF coach got 60%. So there is no doubt that an ICF coach commands a higher earning potential in the marketplace in India, and that is globally. Yeah. NPS score. So it's not about how much I earn from a coaching conversation or a coaching engagement. It's what my client says. The NPS score was substantially different too. It was 91% in the case of an ICF coach, and it was 68% in the case of a non-ICF coach. So if you are looking at becoming a professional coach, if you choose any other entity other than ICF, you're choosing for the next best alternative. You're depriving yourself to move into the full potential as a coach. In the process, not serve the client to your fullest potential. So think before you dive into that coaching entity that is not ICF. Again, for your own sake, for the sake of your clients. Yeah, why should one opt for an ICF certification credential? Because it's the gold standard. It gives you a rock solid framework. Yeah, ICF has got 3 credential levels: ACC, PCC, and MCC. It has 2 routes of credentialing. One is ACTP and ACSTH. Now, these are all undergoing some shift in the jargon. They call it level 1 and level 2. It's still in the process of transition. That's why we are still keeping the old one. A quick dive into what does it take to become an ACC. ACC requires minimum 60 hours of training. It requires 10 hours of mentoring. So this 60 hours of training we offer 48 hours synchronous, that is classroom, online or offline. 10 hours of minimum mentoring. You get much more than that. 100 hours of practice. Now, for me, this is at the core of this journey. We introduce you to the framework and you keep practicing. Over the years, we have developed some very solid method of clocking these 100 hours. Trade secret. So, if anyone has a question around it, either I'll take it in the Q&A, because some of you might be already aware what we do it differently. But this is one of our USP. We do this well. And also the assignments, including 2 coaching conversations for us and 1 for ICF. Because what we offer is an ACS stage route to credential. If you complete 1, 2, 3, 4, there is a test also. The test is, there is a spelling. Yeah, the test is on coaching situations, coaching caselets. You're a coach, you face this, what will you do? So if you do 1, 2, 3 with diligence, embrace the rigor of the program, the test is a cakewalk. If you do 1, 2, 3 well, even those recording that you need to submit to us for our certification and 1 recording that goes to ICF, it's a pretty much a cakewalk. Not a cakewalk, but it's not difficult. So the rigor is built into the journey. And that's what makes it different. Now, so as we speak today, divine grace, God's grace, all our applications, all our students have gone through the application process, have cleared the recording. This month, not this month, last month, November, 7 of our learners have cleared. Of them, 2 have finished their CKA. And you can see it's there on our Regal page. Or if you look up on the LinkedIn page, Karan can share the link. Dr. Sanjay Kalra and Naval, a banker, Naval, ex-banker, Sanjay, as I said earlier, a doctor, MBBS doctor. Yeah. So when I say 100 hours of practice is at the core of this journey, that is our USP. That is the reason why our strike rate is 100%. And again, I invite you to do a quick research. Our strike rate is perhaps the best in the industry, in this part of the world. Yeah, we do a little bit of competition benchmarking, and that's what we have seen. Why choose Regal Unlimited? Yeah, there are several coach training institutes in India, Asia, and globally. Why Regal Unlimited? First one, we train you to become a truly ICF certified coach. It goes beyond, just getting a credential for yourself. It's about the destination, which is the credential, ACC, PCC, MCC. It's the journey of transformation that you will experience in this road. And it is about the community that we have built. Now, there is nothing comparable to our community of coaches in this part of the world again. We have not really done a global benchmarking on that, but I'm pretty much sure there is nothing comparable globally when it comes to our community of coaches. We have taken, every member of the 300 plus community have taken efforts to build this community, and we all are committed. It's one big family. Yeah. There's customized mentoring solution. The mentors here are all successful coaches, professional coaches, practicing coaches with 20 plus years minimum corporate experience. This is their second, the second innings, including mine. We handhold you throughout the journey and beyond. It's a lifelong friendship. That's why when our punchline is ROI of enchantment. We try to deliver at every point of time, every interaction with every one of our clients in coaching and our learner coaches or students when we train them. Yeah. Last one. We have been into coach training and mentoring for the last 8 years plus. We started in 2014 September. We have trained 300 plus coaches across the globe. We have our alumni from North America to New Zealand. 1,000 plus industry leaders have been touched through our programs over the last 10 years. We are celebrating 10 years this month. 12/12 is our 10th anniversary. 10 years of incorporation. We have touched 50 plus leading organizations, including some Fortune 100 companies, leaders at these companies. So if I can take the liberty of saying this with all humility, if you want to become a professional coach, it's a no-brainer that you should go for ICF. If you want to choose the best coach training institute, then Regal Unlimited is the one. And I opened the floor to Q&A, and I am happy to be challenged on that and answer any question and answers. Yeah, thank you for your patience. Karan, any questions?
Yeah, hi Subash. Thanks for that concise and very profound, brief on the ICF ways, methodology, 5 steps. Now, today, what we intend to do is that I want to probably keep all my knowledge and objectives and biases, prejudices aside, and be a novice and learn from you whether truly as a professional coaching is for me or not. So I will be, I invite all the participants as well to probably, if you have any queries, questions, clarifications on the deck or on the way forward in becoming a coach, please put it in the chat box or the Q&A box. But I have few questions listed and I want to probably take them first. As in when we get questions, we'll also take them on the need basis. So the theme for today's thing was, why successful coaches, successful professionals are pivoting to becoming coaches. So probably your thoughts on it, why successful professionals are truly pivoting to become coaches.
One is, when we decided on this topic, one question that came to my mind was, what does success mean to us, right? For each one of us. The definition of success differs from person to person. And very often, I'm saying this both as a former corporate executive and also as a professional coach working with leaders and other professions. Very often, we don't pause to reflect what is success. But, purely from the worldly success of position, power, finance, respect, legacy. If you look at all this, these are people who are typically considered as success, out there in the world. Now, these are people who are embracing coaching because coaching is a must-have leadership skill. Coaching is for leaders, says Dr. Marshall Goldsmith, considered to be the #1 coach globally. I've heard him say that physically at a retreat in Dubai. So coaching is for leaders. Coaching skill is for leaders. Many of leaders from my generation survived with command and control. That is not possible today. Today's millennial will not tolerate command and control. Generation Z will not tolerate. So leadership skill is something that is necessary. It is about tapping into the potential of everyone that we are connecting with. What is leadership? Leadership is also about dreaming, allowing the other, the people we are working with. It could be your boss, your peer, or your subordinates, to dream more, to do more, and to become more, as the famous quote goes. So, every successful professional at some stage will look at, is my success holistic? Am I truly successful? And coaching becomes an integral part of it. Last point, which a lot of people don't speak about. As we grow old, especially those successful professionals in the wrong side of 40s and 50s, this is a great skill. Just to give you an example, coaching mandates that you listen 80% and 20% you talk. That is the greatest communication skill you can ever have. You and me, we have learned communication skills in our B schools, Karan. But this goes to a deeper level. So if as I grow old, if I learn to just shut my mouth and listen, I'll be respected more. So that's why it's a must-have skill for successful professionals. That's why they are pivoting. And there is an increased awareness of what is truly coaching this part of the world.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. So increased awareness, successful leadership skill, life skill. More than that, I feel, as you mentioned, holistic success, it becomes holistic only if you add that element of contributing back to the society in any meaningful way. It could be touching lives through coaching. But
I'll just interrupt, Karan. Sorry for that. You reminded me of a real case. My very first client, I've shared this story in different contexts with his permission. He signed me up in 2013 April. So he's my client in 2013 April, professional client, first client. And we continued for almost 2 years. I was also learning to become a coach, got my credentials. He continued to work with me. 2018 or 19, early 19, we met up in Bengaluru. He's very successful. on all parameters that we ascribe to, personally, professionally, everything. I'm not going to that part of the story. But when he met me, he said, I've ticked all the boxes more, I've achieved a lot more than what I even dreamt of when I started my career, or even when I started coaching. But there is something in me that I feel there's something missing. So by now, I am not talking to him as a coach, I am talking as a friend. So I said, as a friend, if I can take liberty and tell you, I said, you look at how you can give back a little more. He was doing a little bit of philanthropy. I said, how can you improve that? So I am saying that is giving back to society is something that every leader, every successful person will come to, if not today, tomorrow or day after. Yeah, I just remembered that story. That's why I thought I'll share.
No issues. Thanks for sharing. It was really, it put things in perspective. So my question was, as a successful consultant or a doctor or accountant, those professions, I mean, it's already there, right? Do I truly need to become a coach to impact lives, to give back to society? I can do that very well, jolly well, being a good doctor, good surgeon, good accountant, so on and so forth. Do I truly need to become coach? Subash, you're on mute. Yeah.
So the doctor has just become a coach. Now, I was joking with him. He says he just got his ACC. He wants to join us for our training programs, wants to mentor. He wants to go much deeper. He's willing to travel to Bengaluru from Delhi and attend some of these shops. He might be on the call. So, say, Sanjay, if you're there, you can just say hi. So the point is, learning to become a coach, the experience of becoming a coach, somebody who is super successful, doing phenomenal work in diabetes care, he sees value in that. Every other professional who has some understanding about what is coaching is seeing this as something that is necessary to upskill. So wherever we are, there is always an opportunity to improve and get better. Wherever we are, President of United States to Sachin Tendulkar, everyone can improve, right? That is a lifelong journey to learn and grow. Coaching is a skill that can go much deeper. And the more we are going towards a potential personal and professional, that becomes very powerful to serve others. So a coaching skill or a coaching certification or a credential from ICF is a great skill to have, great structure to have. And life skill, absolutely, just not a professional skill, it's a life skill. So it helps everyone without exception. Yes.
That makes definite sense. But there could be many areas. Today, the world has opened up so much, a lot of digital opportunities also to become a coach, pick up those skills like listening and other things. Why only ICF for professional coaching? Subash, you're on mute.
Yeah, great question, Karan. So now, see, I don't want to be seen as making unfair comparisons here. My life experience, I've done training, undergone different levels of training, gone to universities, some of the best ones globally, interacted with some great professors and coaches. There is something that ICF has done magically over the last 27, 28 years. That is bringing together this coaching framework. That is number one. Number two, it's still a young organization. Maybe it's your age, no, Karan? So, it's still a millennial. So it's still a very vibrant, evolving. Every 5 years, I have seen they're evolving. Backed by solid research. Every word in that ICF framework, the competency framework, is fascinating. And, we keep discovering, even while training and coaching. So ICF has done a brilliant job of bringing them together, the framework, allowing it to evolve and back it with solid research. It's a non-for-profit also. ICF is a non-for-profit. It is managed by a whole lot of volunteers for sure at different chapters, but they also have full-time employees. So it's a beautiful amalgamation of professionals running the organization and an army of volunteers across the globe. So these are reasons why ICF makes it very unique. And it's a global footprint, last but not the least.
Terrific. The reason why I asked, I think this will very much resonate with the professionals because they also believe in set process. Every doctor, accountant, surgeon, they have to comply with certain things. At the same time, there is an emotional element in each of the profession, be it a doctor, be it an accountant, be it any other profession, right? So ICF brings to you that professional framework, at the same time, very vibrant, very humane, so that you can apply it and truly touch lives. Thanks for that, Subash. So it all looks very rosy. It all looks very good that I'm going to make an impact and all of that. But I want to ask, what are the downsides to becoming a coach? For 20 years, I was a consultant. For 20 years, I was, let us say, as you said, you are a banker, right? But suddenly I want to pivot to becoming a coach. What are downsides to it?
It is, I'm glad that this question has come up as to what is the downside. Everything is not rosy, I can guarantee you. The first thing is the journey to become a coach. Become a coach is a phrase ICF uses extensively. So you're actually becoming a coach. So to become a coach itself is a difficult route. You're truly embracing the rigor of the program, not the shallow certificate, right? So when I say become professional coach, it is both the journey, destination, and the community. So, it's the peeling the onion for me as a person. If I don't undergo the transformation shift in me along this journey, how can I even appreciate the transformational shift in my clients? So it's very difficult. It's a challenging journey, to put it mildly. And ICF framework doesn't make it easy for all the three. As a community member, I'm committed to the ethics of the practice, very different from the way we understand ethics. It's a far more challenging as an ICF coach. That is number one. Number two, I can speak personally. I left my corporate at the very peak. I left at the peak, very conscious decision, absolutely, no regrets looking back. After 21 years, at the peak, I left. So if money or wealth or recognition or fame or legacy is the reason why you want to get into coaching, I would always recommend, on record, don't go into coaching. You're not ready for it. You're not ready at this point of time. So if you want the spotlight on you, or if I want the spotlight on me as a coach, not on my client, I am not ready for coaching. So to that extent, somebody who wanted to be a public speaker, a great orator, and also a coach. So I said, you have to choose one of the two. You have to decide whether the spotlight you want on you or the client. That is number two. Number three, entrepreneurial shift for us, people like us who make the transition, it's not easy. It's very lonely in the first place. The money, right? The whole thing about managing all elements of business is not easy. Yeah. But then why the hell are you in coaching, if you ask me? I touch lives every day. Period. This evening, just before the call, Karan, somebody from our community, I'm withholding the name because I don't want to. He's an ACC, somebody with 15 years of experience in NLP, psychodrama, and other things. He said, I just want to spend half an hour with you. For me, he's far more accomplished professionally in his areas than I am. I'm still a shallow banker. As a retail banker, I'm a shallow coach. But he finds something in just connecting with me for half an hour. And we connected today. Now, for me, he's a fellow coach who's a professional, very successful. And he had some points to just bounce off and discuss with me. For me, that's what makes it fascinating to get up every morning and get out to work. Yeah.
Great. So I got 3 points, 3 challenges, 3 downsides probably to becoming a coach, pivoting to become a professional coach. The first one was self-transformation is actually a bit scary, peeling the onion. If you don't experience it yourself, chances are you might not be able to appreciate it in the clients. Second one was, if you are in the business for the spotlight, then this might not be the right business, right professional journey to be, right? The third one, and I think that's the most interesting one for me, was entrepreneurial setup. It is not easy. So my question to you is, and I think I see another question, which is a kind of similar one. I'll club these two together. I have seen coaches, let's say who is an insurance, magnate, terrific in that industry for last 20 years. And then suddenly they decide to become professional coach. They become coach and they realize that coaching is not easy. Running a business of coaching is definitely not easy. And then they go back, they recede and they go back to their old profession. What is your take on that? And the second question, which is there here, is how do young professional coaches, Nikhil has asked this, Nikhil Pawar, how do young professional coaches who are less than 25 years establish themselves as coaches?
Yeah. So the first question, Karan, a particular name comes to my mind, who is an insurance professional, became a ACC, gone back to work. If you're talking about the same person, he also started a startup venture and he's exiting that. He didn't start, his wife started, and he was playing a very, very supportive role. And it was his passion too. So they're planning to exit that. But for me, it's a good case study, because he is actually joining us for the retreat this weekend, Karan. And he asked me this morning, saying that I want to sit with you one-to-one for an hour during those 3 days and discuss my specific way forward in professional coaching. So 2 answers to your question, right? One, maybe he took an early jump into becoming a professional coach when he was not ready. It could be financial, it could be other reasons, right? So it's important that we are ready at all levels before you take an entrepreneurial plunge, not just coaching plunge. But in his case, and I know quite a few people, including some coaches, are struggling to find business, saying that they are still willing to give a long row for themselves instead of jumping back, provided, because they know that this is their calling. So to summarize, it's good to reflect and take the plunge at the right time. Like, Karan, any aspiring coach, when they talk to me and, one-to-one, when they ask me this question, one answer I always have for them from a mentoring point of view is that don't just jump. Make a smooth transition. When you're working, doing something, whatever you're doing now, get ACC, get practice, establish your brand, create some foundation before you make the jump. So if you plan your transition well, then I think there is, it is no rocket science either. Entrepreneurship was never rocket science, but then the failure is high because we just go by the passion, ignoring the other element. So no, the people should be brave enough to go back. To summarize, be careful when they want to get into this full-time professionally, but keep the flame burning. This could be a post-retirement thing also, provided you manage your health, physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual well. Yeah, that's one of the reasons this, Karan. I mean, for me, some of us, not just for me, the people with the gray hair, for us, this rest of our life. And we get better if we remain a student for life.
So picking the thread from the gray hair, the question which Nikhil asked, he might be a successful coach, good coach, but he is less than 25 years. And he's asking, how can I actually establish his, as a personal brand for him? I know on the call, we also have another young coach, right? So this question for both of them, if you want to answer probably.
Yeah. So thing is, as a professional coach, I can watch that age does not matter. It's the framework that matters. So don't even accept this lie that the gray hair is an advantage here. No. If you master the framework better than me, you'll be better than me in coaching. Period. Number one. Number two, our curriculum right from the day one focus on the marketing side of business of coaching. The business side of coaching, the entrepreneurial side of coaching is very important. Again, I quote Marshall Goldsmith. He says there are a lot of good coaches who are struggling. There are a lot of average coaches who are making a lot of money. They have just not figured out the entrepreneurial part of it well. So it's about your branding, finding your niche, staying disciplined to the marketing side. Now, I know members of our community who promised me that every week I'll blog. They blog for 6 weeks. They don't blog from the 7th week. When I challenged them, they said, I'll do. It's just indiscipline. Marketing is all discipline. Branding is all discipline. So if you get the basics right, you have a huge advantage of starting early. Right? Surya Kumar Yadav is in his mid-30s, making a big name in cricket. But somebody like, the youngsters like Virat Kohli, see what he has become a legend also in his 30s. So that's the difference. You have an advantage of becoming a legend more than people like us. So go for it. Yeah. But you can't ignore all the three components. The golden triangle of coaching, the way we practice is coaching skills, the business side of coaching, which are the base angles of the triangle. The top is the deep work, self-work. And I've seen youngsters in our community when they practice, it's all about me. No, you have to transcend that as a professional coach.
That's very deep. So, I mean, I got multiple points from that, and I hope Nikhil also might have got some value from it. You mentioned 2-3 words there, discipline, framework, age doesn't matter. When it comes to framework, I want to take a step back and see, let's say I'm a professional banker, 20 years, 40 years, 40 years of age, 20 years into banking career. I want to, let's say, impact lives. That's a purpose, holistic success, all of that, right? Now, when I look at framework, I can choose ICF, which you have very well explained, but there's also a very vibrant emerging field, NLP, right? Both of these, if you compare cost-wise, NLP might be more affordable than ICF. Duration-wise, it's more affordable, it's lesser than ICF, right? Even the brand recall, NLP might be better than ICF. So as a professional coach who is probably transitioning and pivoting, an objective analysis should tell me, should I go for NLP? Probably yes. What is your take on that?
So for me, very good question. I won't restrict it to NLP. It could be NLP or any other similar methodology, right? The thing is, the million-dollar question is, what resonates within me? If NLP resonates within you, psychodrama, therapy, healing, counseling, pick up that, but go deep into that. Whatever line you choose, you go deep into that. And that is number one. Second answer is, I have a psychiatrist friend who was my batchmate in healing. She's moved, kind of transition from psychiatry, a doctor, postgraduate doctor who could prescribe psychiatric drugs to healing. She's a mentor for healing. In fact, I attended one of her workshops in Access Bars recently, in a certification process. The point is, that's the second point. Don't hesitate to move from one to the other one. It's an evolution. So don't stay stuck in one methodology. That is number two. Number three, word of caution. Don't fall for bundling. Again, I'll build the same example.
Can you elaborate on that? Bundling? Somebody
says, I'll give you NLP and coaching. Or therapy and coaching. Or something else and coaching. There are a lot of such offerings and ICF approved offerings in the marketplace. No, please don't do that. ICF on its own is complete. You don't need the crutches of anything. Just as some of these other, NLP also doesn't need the crutches of ICF. If you want to become a coach, embrace ICF, just go deeper. And I'm saying this, you know this, Karan. I started as a coach after extensive research. I chose to go for a PCC. I took my 5 years to become an MCC, but I've just stayed with coaching. I have gone for Vipassana. I have gone for Isha Insight. I have done other related program, but that's all the top angle of the triangle.
The deep work.
The deep work.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't allow that to interfere with my coaching. I am committed to pure classical ICF coaching. So be careful when there is a marketing gimmick of bundling. And I'm a student of marketing. I know what goes behind.
Okay, that's again very helpful. Though you encourage experiments, you shift from NLP to X to Y to Z methodologies, but keep your core intact and stay with what resonates the most with you. Now, one more question which I am getting right now is that, as a professional, okay, I might be, doing consulting, banking, whichever stream I want to. But how difficult it is for me, because see, coaching is a different sphere, right? It's a different domain. A lot of baggage has to be, we have to unlearn a lot to get into it. How easy it is for a professional who has been doing the same thing throughout for the last 15, 20 years, how easy it is for him to pivot. And that's where one more question comes, when do I know, or how do I know probably that I'm ready to become a coach? What is a trigger to become a coach? Subash, you are on mute.
I'll answer the second one first. The trigger, when do I become a coach, is an inner calling. The point is, we don't listen to our calling. I'm not glorifying this as, something phenomenal. Gautama gets up and walks out of the palace to become Buddha. No. I'm saying at a very worldly level, you will know. But are we listening? We don't listen. That is number one. So, while you can always listen to others and take their input, go by what your heart says. You will never go wrong. Yeah. If at all you want an external help, get the help of a professional coach, even to identify that. We have tools like Regal at 60, which are very good, and an advanced version of Ikigai to really tell you that when you want to go into professional coaching. The process will help you. Yeah. Second, the first question of unlearning, it is not easy. No, again, what the misconception here is, when these people with 30, 40 years of experience or 20, 30 years of experience come, what we are telling them to park aside is their ego-based cognitive knowledge and wisdom. Your deep subconscious knowledge, you will always tap into that. And I have not heard anyone saying, I take credit for this point also, right? We had a learner from an earlier batch who reached out just 2 days back. When our video on 10 years was going around, he called to congratulate. He said, I just completed 40 years of my professional experience. Somebody who retired from ITC. So he was saying, I remember him when he reached out to me for coach certification, that is over 30 years experience that time. I said, can you park all your gyan, knowledge, wisdom, everything at the door and come in? Very, very coolly said yes. But, midway through the journey, he was so, worried, angry, so multiple emotions, saying that all that I learned over 30 years of no use. He's somebody who owns a collection of 2,000 books at home. That is his most precious asset for him, 2,000 books at home. He says, how can I let go of all that? So then I told him, I'm saying the ego-based cognitive knowledge temporarily park aside. Because when you park aside that ego, you are going to tap into intuition. It cannot be tapped from your cognitive space. It can only be tapped from that unconditional space, right? Unconditional love. So for that, it is important that we park it aside. So, it's a beautiful unlearning process, not easy. But once you taste some success, you will see that coaching is bigger than coaching. So John Whitmore says that. That's what it means. Yeah.
Phenomenal. So I'll just stretch that first part a little more. I know that you selectively induct students and professionals into becoming coaches. Not everybody who comes gets a red carpet entry.
Yes.
Now I want to ask, because you have been in this industry for the last 10 years, been mentoring coaches, training them, maybe also kind of funneling them down for training and all that. I want to ask, what are the red flags do you see in any successful professional who wants to become a coach? And he would have had a conversation with you probably. Any red flags do you see in them that might not, at that point of time, make them a better coach?
Very good question. And both prospective coaches here, aspiring coaches, and also those who are going to see the videos in future, I hope they really reflect on this question. It's a very powerful question for them to reflect first, before I try to answer this with my limited knowledge and experience. The first thing is, they should not be looking at mere certification. I feel it's part of our, respectfully, I'm saying this, part of a culture, our wiring, that we are slightly more inclined towards certification, degree, and other stuff. If you're looking at coaching certification, then I think you're not ready for it. Second thing that when I'm having conversation, without any judgment, I'm evaluating whether they are ready to get into our cohort. And, our friends know this. This is something that I have replicated from my alma mater, INSEAD. INSEAD is very selective in their executive coaching program as to who is part of the cohort. The cohort composition is very important because peer learning is as powerful or more powerful than learning from mentors and trainers. So we are constantly looking for it. So I look for coaching mindset. If I have to answer it in one sentence, it's coaching mindset. So today, me personally and our team, we are reaching out to people, asking them, are you geared up for joining the session? They don't respond. You're not ready for coaching. If you don't have that basic courtesy to respond as a successful professional, my challenging question is, are you truly successful? Are you ready for this coaching session? You are not ready to get into our cohort for sure. And I'm saying this with all humility once again. If you don't respond to people, then what is your regard for fellow human beings? Then you're not ready for an adult-to-adult conversation. So coaching mindset. How do we measure? Do people listen? If I'm talking and if you are interrupting me, or you're talking to me and I'm interrupting you, then you're not ready for coaching. This is a life skill. This is a coaching mindset. And so if you ask me, do we reject all of them? No. And it is never driven by sales numbers. We truly make sure that the current batch, November batch, is a cohort of small number. We could have had 3 times that number, but we didn't get few other people who would have, because they were not fitting in. It doesn't make financial sense. It doesn't make economic sense. But our priority is the cohort than our economics and finance. So some of them have still come in, and there is this joke. Sometimes I go home and tell my wife, who's also partner. I tell, "Ab aaya oont pahad ke niche." I leave it to you. You have your Hindi to explain that. When they practice the first time, they know that all that ego vanishes, and then it's a shift. It's that caterpillar to butterfly shift. And we have been very lucky, God's grace, that every learner who has come into a program, we've got it right. We haven't got anyone wrong. We have had 1 or 2 people who have, I wouldn't say 100%, maybe 1 or 2 people out of 300, which is okay. That keeps us on our toes, right? People who have not made the grade. They're great human beings, they're successful professionals, but they have not become coaches, yeah, in its holistic sense. So we are truly evaluating every aspect, prospective coaches. We know how to manage that bit, how to manage rejection. We never tell that, no, you don't join us.
Yes. So means what I'm sensing from you is like, usually at that age, when you're 50, 55, and that age when the ego shatters, usually it is taken with a lot of resentment, a lot of other negative things. But the reason they are continue to stick with us, continue to practice, continue to come and come in the session and learn, that's because that ego shattering was a transformational shift. That was a pivot which they probably needed and they got. And that's why they continue to see the value in it, and they continue to join and continue this journey of becoming a coach.
I'll still go back to the same example, Karan. The same veteran of 40 years experience, he's not completed the ACC. He's still saying that I am going to, he said a lot of work. He lost his father recently, a lot of stuff. He says, my father was 100 years old. He would ask me, where is your ACC? So he said, now he is no more. It is my tribute to him. I want to complete my ACC. Even today, when he reached out to me this week, he said, I want to complete, I need your help. We said, we will do it together, right? So the point is, shattering, please don't get it wrong. Others who are listening, it's an evolution of that person from, from where they are to a higher level of consciousness. And it's a beautiful space to be for them. I can guarantee you that.
Sure. So I think we have 5 more minutes. Any questions, anybody, any comments, any reflections, anything you picked up from this which might help you make a better decision, please feel free to let us know in the chat box. Subash, I don't know if I have any more questions left. What I see now is that as a successful professional, in order to make my success more holistic, in order to answer that inner calling, and obviously to a certain degree, also some certification, some business, some entrepreneurial side to build that kind of a side. We definitely need to pivot to becoming coaches. I think Vasant has a question. May I know about the pricing? So, you want to take it or you want to take it offline?
No, we'll share. Our ACC, assuming Vasant you're looking for ACC, our ACC program fee for certification journey with Regal Unlimited is 140 plus GST, that is 165,200. And when you apply to ICF, there's an additional application fee payable to ICF, which is currently $550 US. So it's around 210,000 cumulative investment. It is an investment, not an expense. And there is no hidden charges here. Former banker speaking. Of course, you will invest in some resources like books and other things, but that is very nominal. Yeah.
As you spoke that investment part, I got one thought. So the thought is, what I hear usually from people who are coming and, kind of enrolling or maybe shopping, the question they have is, currently that life is too hectic, right? They have genuine reasons. It could be a project launch, it could be somebody on maternity leave, it could be 100 other reasons, somebody sick in the family, and then they postpone, right? What's your reading on that? Any advice to them?
Again, I don't know if this gentleman is on the call. I had a call with someone yesterday morning, 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. to 9:30. He has been in touch for the last 2 years, postponing the start of his coaching journey. Suddenly he said, I'm signing up this batch. What he said is, he had some issues at work. He said, I wish I had started coaching much earlier.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So, so what was the question? I forget the question.
The question is, what is your reading? What is your advice to those who do not start and think that life is kind of taking it on? Also, we have one more question here. Vasant has asked again, someone who is dedicated for this course, how long will it take to complete the ACC journey?
Sure. So, no, this gentleman who called yesterday, he was waiting for a crisis to make this shift. If he had started, he himself is saying, if I had started this journey, the crisis that he's facing today, while he blames someone else for it, he says, I am partly responsible. I could have avoided that. So, you'll have 10 excuses for not starting this journey. But we're talking about potential. Can we ever postpone your journey to your potential by even a day? So if coaching is on your radar, start today, since you have not started yesterday. Yeah. Coming back to Vasant's question, our mandate is within 6 months, you should have completed our certification. And within 1 year, you should have applied for ICF. Now, these two gentlemen who have completed their ACC, Sanjay and Naval, you will find them on our LinkedIn profiles. They're part of the January 2022 batch. They've got their ACC now. These are two very busy gentlemen. So anywhere between 6 to 9 months is a good duration for yourself. There are people who have done it in less than 6 months, some even more than 12 months. But 6 to 9 months is a sweet spot to get the best out of it, as a good coach. Yeah.
Sure. I hope, Vasant, that answers. Yeah. Okay. I think we are just 1 minute away. Subash, any concluding remarks?
Yeah. So, punchline, coaching is not for everyone. Yeah. While everyone benefits from coaching, unless we are ready at all levels for the transformational shift, we are not ready for coaching. But coaching training, the training to become a coach, certification to become a coach, is for a far lesser community, for a few people. Not everyone is cut out to become a coach. So if you think you have it in you to become a coach, the world needs you more than anything else, right? So it's important that for the sake of the universe, for the sake of the community, you start taking baby steps. Don't need to take any big risk at this stage, but take the baby step. It starts with getting trained to become a coach. The world needs all the healing touch of professional coaching. Yeah, I hope to see some of you in our upcoming batch. We are starting an online batch on Jan 28th. That is a weekend batch every alternate Saturday, and offline in Bengaluru, beautiful Bengaluru, in February 3, 4, 5 and March 3, 4, 5. Just 3 plus 3, 6 days of classroom, and then all it's online. Your offline practice. So hope to see some of you very soon. Thank you for joining and staying on till end. I can see there is no drop off. Great connecting with you all. And please reach out to either Karan or me if you have any more questions. Happy to answer online or offline. Thank you.
Thank you, Motri, for the compliment. Subash, she's telling it's nice listening to you, Subash. I got some great insights. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitra.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Bye.
Take care.
Take care.
Thank you.